TGIF family, thank God it's Friday and welcome to WWT Live. We are on the eve and the precipice of SummerSlam. So we're getting you ready for all things SummerSlam. And a quick reminder, we've got a lot left in the tank.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
TGIF family, happy Friday. Welcome to WWT Live. I hope you are doing well. I hope you're in the midst of an absolutely fantastic day. And you know what this weekend is, rather. It's SummerSlam weekend, and there's an awful lot to get to. We're going to preview SummerSlam weekend, which means SmackDown tonight, a couple of title matches happening. But then there's a lot of other news that's not related to SummerSlam that is definitely worthy of conversation. We're going to get into all of that. But first, my esteemed panel, my crew, my people, they are here. Let me first welcome this guy. He's an elected official. We probably should have like a formal theme song and things for him. We'll get that. We'll work that in the budget, or maybe we'll borrow from some of the budget of the Pereziacs. I don't know. The councilman's here. Councilman Farrow, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Anyone that lives in LA, if you know this, just know if someone drops you off at the airport, that means they really care about you, because LAX is no joke.
I've been hearing that LAX is nothing to play with.
It is not. It is not. Councilman was almost late, and I 100% agree. I'm gonna find me some councilman music to play, because I don't like that the mayor has one and a video, and I do not.
Well, I am not the producer around these parts. I don't dish out the music, but you know who you could talk to on that one. But we'll get that for you. No worries. No worries. Good to see you here, Councilman. And this young lady is doing double duty as far as I know tonight. It's a Friday, so that usually means we get a double dose of the hostess with the mostest. She's got all things Honey Pot connected to her. Wrestling with Honey's in the building. Honey, how are you?
Howdy doody, everybody. Happy Friday. Another week, another PLE. SummerSlam's already here. I cannot believe it. Considering that it's now early in the month, I guess that's why we're not used to it coming so fast. But
true.
Lord, it's hot out here, and I can't wait to kick up the heat this weekend.
Absolutely. It should be a fun weekend, and I'm glad that we get to do this SummerSlam preview with you guys. But before we get into the SummerSlam preview, there's a lot going on in the wrestling world, as there tends to be. And this piece of news, well, let me just get into it and we can dialogue and the like. So you might have wondered why you didn't see Britt Baker Wednesday night, roughly 4 weeks before her marquee match with Mercedes Moné. Well, that is because Britt Baker has been apparently suspended. She was reportedly, now there are multiple reports. There's one report that says she was suspended 1 to 2 weeks. There's another report that says that she's suspended for about 4 weeks. Either way, there's an incident that took place backstage involving Britt Baker. Apparently, it is connected to something that she said about Alicia Atout, who is the girlfriend of MJF. And Alicia recently joined AEW as a backstage interviewer. Alicia found out, talked to MJF. MJF apparently confronted Miss Baker. Alicia also confronted her. It's even being said that Will Ospreay had something to say. Long story short, a committee has been put together, and the result is Baker was seemingly quietly suspended and fined. And this is not the first time we've heard some things about Britt Baker, depending upon where you fall in the zeitgeist. Your thoughts, honey, on this apparent news on Britt Baker?
I mean, I was actually pretty shocked. This was something that you probably couldn't expect. I mean, aside from all the previous drama we've seen in the AEW backstage for the past couple of years, this was something that was a little bit off the rails in my book. Not sure what the issue was. I don't know if I saw any reports. There's so many different things and, dirt sheets and whatnot and wrestling marks that'll say anything that could be the reason. But it has to be pretty serious, especially if HR had gotten involved and got pretty personal. You have significant others involved as well. That's just something you just don't do or go for. I'm not sure what to make of it, especially with Britt Baker just making her return and everything like that. I think this affects a lot of things for her going forward, as far as what happens with her title shot and what going forward for the next pay-per-view events, being that she just came back. But I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried and concerned for that backstage locker room for sure.
That kind of leads me to my next question, and this is for you, Councilman. What does this say about the AEW locker room? If we remember, this time last year, there was all sorts of scuttlebutt, and that led into the All-In incident that ultimately resulted in CM Punk being released from AEW. What's happening, do you think, in the backstage area in AEW such that we have this kind of activity going on?
Oh, that you ain't got no black people working there. That's what it is.
Well,
because we know to keep our stuff in house. We don't let it come out. If you got problems backstage, you let it stay in the house. This is family business, and y'all just letting this pour out. I'm just joking with y'all on that. But
I need my allegedly situation. Keep going.
Yes.
Alleged.
Uh-huh.
But no, it's something like, to Honey's point, like, I'm still trying to figure out what was said enough to where allegedly that all these people got to get involved. Like, and then two, just as we know with wrestling, could this also be a work that's going on? Could something have really happened or not happened, and them trying to pump this up for All In? I'm just still trying to really wrap my head of what could she have done to have HR involved, to have a committee come together to have to decide that, okay, we have to suspend and fine you. Because normally when you're fining someone, you've put your hands on somebody. So it's just kind of just like, what exactly is happening and why is there so much turmoil in the back of AEW? And I really just still think it leads to, this is what happens when you have somewhat more of a super fan that doesn't really know how to delegate when it comes to talking to his superstars. And I think that's what we're getting to. It's a lot of hostility going on. This is one of their biggest pay-per-views that they have coming. So a lot of tension can grow with that, especially like we've seen in like documentaries from WWE when like a SummerSlam's coming or a WrestleMania is coming. Everybody's on high edge, high alert. Tensions are there. People getting frustrated just because they want to put on a good show. But this doesn't bode well for them. If this is true, I'm still gonna sit here with this could be a potential work until I hear more.
So let me ask you, because Eddie brings up an interesting point. He says, why would it be a work when they are not in a storyline? So I guess my question to you would be, what would be the benefit of something like this being a work?
Something for Mercedes Moné to bounce off on, because I think too of just giving her more spotlight to do promos, to talk about stuff like that, or the match not happening and then just trying to build that up a little bit more, and us thinking like, oh, okay, well then I guess it's over. I guess she's gonna try to go find someone else, and then just all of a sudden now Britt Baker's reinstated, and then just to build up a little bit more hype.
I'll say this: if that's what they have to do to build a story, then they need to get other people in creative. Mm-hmm. And with that, I'll also say that given the backstage history that AEW has had, they really don't need any more backstage issues of any kind. And so if they have to use that for storyline purposes, that's a really bad situation.
Professor, can I ask you though, because for someone that has worked in commentary, that has worked in the back of these productions and stuff like that, and being around these wrestlers, what do you feel like may have transpired for all of this to take place?
Well, let me go to a quick comment really quick. Eddie says Britt was only suspended for a week. She'll be back for All In. Not true. She was actually suspended July 17th. This is already 2 weeks from that time that she was suspended.
This has been.
It was more than a week. It was more than a week. So I'm going to walk very carefully here. What I will say is every locker room is different. And every company has different ways of operating. Locker rooms that I've been in, we haven't had a ton of problems. On the occasions where there have been problems, it has resulted sometimes in, some of the parties not returning to said promotion because of some of the things that have happened. In terms of what could have happened, could have been a number of things. I will say this. This is what I will say for sure. I think things like this can only be considered works if other similar backstage issues that have happened in said company was also a work. And the truth of it is, it seems like every time we've heard something about backstage issues, particularly in this company, it's proven to be true. So I can't say that it's a work. I don't think that this is something, and I would love to know how this even got out. Like moments like this is what's interesting to me. I'm more interested in who in the company leaked this information than I am in what actually happened, because it says to me, it goes along the line with what we saw earlier this week with that picture with Shane McMahon and Tony Khan. Like, who in that company feels the need to create stories so bad that they've got to release pictures that aren't supposed to be released, that they've got to release suspensions? Because think about it. There have been 2 weeks of television that Britt Baker has not been on. And, they have talked about it, in terms of, her being banned from the building, et cetera, et cetera. At no point did anybody think about a suspension or anything like that. So it's interesting to me. It's all very interesting. And I think we'll see how this plays out. We'll see if in any way this impacts their big match at All In. But to a point that I think you made, Councilman, I think this does speak to what kinds of things need to be in place in that backstage area in terms of how we conduct ourselves, codes of conduct, all of this type of thing. There's some interesting comments over here.
Goodness gracious.
Not take the bait. Once again, AEW has drama. Happy Friday. Hey, happy birthday, cousin.
Hey, happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
That's
cousin
awesome.
Ryan.
Yes, indeed. So wait, let me go back to this one here. Once again, AEW has drama. I think this is, again, the result of, number one, a young company, and number two, and I think TK may have actually said this several months ago, oftentimes rules and laws aren't created until something bad happens. And then you realize we need to put something in place to protect this. And so my hope is that AEW somewhere, if they haven't done so already, will put together a formalized code of conduct. This is how you should behave as a representative of this company in the mainstream. This is proper backstage etiquette. Because you have to remember, a number of these stars came from indie promotions where, there was nothing in writing in terms of how you conduct yourself. So
corporate structure.
Right. And we're dealing with $1 million company here. So there needs to be these kinds of things in place, not just, and certainly with contracts and things like that, but also with behavior, so that if someone does something that is against company policy, that there is a policy to reference. You know, we have to have a policy to reference to say that you broke this. We just can't say, hey, we don't like what you did, so we're going to suspend you, if there's nothing in writing to say that this isn't going to work. Let's see. Special Nobody's good to see you. Says, considering their history with backstage trouble, why would they use that story as a work? I agree. Boza says, and Mercedes is the benefactor of all of this.
That's another reason why I think it could be a work.
Would this have come out if Mercedes didn't show up? I'm not so ready to lay the blame. Well, I can't say. Mercedes is not to blame for this. That's what I can say. She's not to blame. And number one, I'm not even sure how we bring her name up in this, since her name is nowhere connected to what actually happened. I think at the end of the day, and let me tell you another reason why Mercedes wouldn't be caught up in this and why she has nothing to do with this. Mercedes has come from a company that completely understands how to conduct yourself in a locker room. You know, usually when these kinds of antics happen, you generally don't hear people who spend a ton of time in WWE. She said she took the pic of fake TK and Shane meeting. That was a joke, Boza.
Well, no, if this is a work, though, like I think them basing it off of if this is a work, and they are using this to put in the story, and then you find out Mercedes is the one that leaked this, so it makes her look bad. Yeah, but again, like you said, there's still a stretch. I
get it. I get it. Like you're saying, like there's like some trolling behind it or something like that. Yeah. I don't know. I think Mercedes has come a long way from being an internet troll, to be honest, as far as she's held her end of the bargain as far as her decorum lately. Yes. She's in a different place mentally now. So I will defend her on that.
Yes. And I will say this. I will say this. Mercedes is absolutely not to blame on this one. No. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So we'll see what happens in regards to Britt Baker. We'll see if this in any way impacts what happens at All In, and we'll see if AEW will somehow talk about this. I don't know.
It's happening again.
It happened again.
It's happening again. Okay.
Oh, no.
Well, Professor is froze and is stuck in the matrix somewhere. So, but I feel like we've spent a lot of time on this issue. We are, like Professor was saying, we will see what comes about of it. But let's move on to some more delightful news and more lighthearted news. Up, and there goes the slides along with it. Hold on one second. Let's see. Oh man. Okay.
But they got to get somebody in there, man, to make sure family business doesn't get put out, man. Keep
exactly
that in house.
I think I might know like where Professor was going to be going as far as the blame, you know, and what to put it on, because like he said, it's about the corporate structure.
Yeah, and that's what it is.
Is Professor back with us? Professor, are you back with us? Or he's stuck in the Wyatt Six City Matrix for real, man? I don't know. It's been happening the last couple of times. We've done nothing wrong. We're Wyatt children here.
Yours started freezing up a little bit at the beginning. I was like, why is everybody internet messing up this week?
Well, I will say this though. There was just a crazy downpour of a lightning and thunder that just happened. So maybe it's, you know, it was probably like messing with my internet in the beginning at first. Gotcha. But up, and we got slides back. So Professor is back. There he is.
All right. I don't know what's happening today, but hey, it's the beauty of being live, right?
Yes,
these are
indeed.
the things that happen. But to this particular point, I'm still trying to figure out who is the mole. That's what we need to figure out. Who on earth is the mole over in AEW? Moving on, though, to more pleasant news around the world of women's wrestling. Bayley, of course, is in Cleveland. She's doing all sorts of great interviews and the like. And, you know, there's been a lot of talk about a potential mid-card singles championship in the women's division in WWE. Recently, Bailey was on the Hall of Fame podcast with Booker T and Brad Gilmore. And she talked and referenced, of course, the North American Championship in NXT. She says, I would love for us to have something like that. But I always say this, as proud as I am of the women's tag titles, they also don't always get that time. They don't always get those matches. So first, I would love to see the women's tag titles take off. I'd love to see the women's tag division be put on the map, be on these pay-per-views. I feel like they need a little more love. What are your thoughts on Bailey's comments about perhaps solidifying the women's tag team titles before we get a mid-card title on the main roster?
I personally think, well, listen, Bailey is the women's champion. So if she has any right to say anything about what titles deserve some love a little bit more, especially these days, she's had a lot to say about different things with women's wrestling. She talked about possibly redoing Women's Evolution pay-per-view and, highlighting the women a lot more again. Not that they haven't, because the women have been on fire this year and we've seen lots of proof of that. And we're going to continue to see that this weekend. But she said something that was very interesting about the tag team titles needing some tender loving care. And I happen to agree, only because I feel like the women's tag team titles haven't had that moment yet where it's on that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn beating the Usos kind of level, or Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes main eventing and winning kind of level. Like it really does need some love as far as their attention. I thought that's what we would have gotten when the big three initially won. The big 2 out of 3 initially won the SmackDown women's tag team titles, and they could possibly win that tonight as well, which we're going to get into a little later. But I think she's definitely right. And even I believe Undertaker also mentioned recently that a women's mid-card title would definitely help with bringing out how deep this women's division is really running and highlight a lot of superstars that we haven't really gotten to see. Like, we've gotten to see bits and pieces, but we need to see a little bit more as far as putting them in the spotlight, the main events. So I would have to agree with Bailey.
Councilman, let me ask you this. What do you think needs to be done in order for the women's tag team championships to be viewed as significantly as the men's tag team titles?
I don't really think there's too much you can do. I would say you do need to get rid of those tag titles. And the only reason why I say that is I can only think of one tag team. And I'm going to give that to, and I hope I say their names right, Caden Carter. What is the second one? I know
Katana Chance.
Katana Chance. That is the only tag team that I've seen where it's like, okay, those two make sense as a great tag team. For all the rest of these women tag teams I've seen, all of them are great singles competitors. I love Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, but I love the two of them separate. The matches they put on as singles competitors are fantastic. And I think that's what a majority of the tag teams that we've seen get these belts are these makeshift teams that it's like, okay, I'd rather see you in singles action than I would in these tag teams. So I think even going to where she said these mid-card championships, a women's United States championship, a women's intercontinental championship, I think would set everything on fire and give this women's division the proper respect that they've been fighting for, that they've been deserved. And then just imagine all of that gold at an Evolution 2 going on. An elimination chamber match for the women's intercontinental championship, or a 6-woman Hell in a Cell for the women's US championship. I think if you're truly going to work on the women's tag team championship, you need to start creating more tag teams that are really legit tag teams. And then we start seeing like, okay, like how they did Edge and Christian. No, let me not use Edge and Christian because they were singles before. Like the Dudley Boys, like we knew like the Dudley Boys are a great tag team. And then you start seeing, I could see Bubba Ray going off on his own. I could see, or Usos, I could see a Jay going off on his own, but I don't think we have enough of those tag teams created yet in order for it to get there.
So got a couple of interesting things here, and we're gonna get on into some of those. Especially when nobody says the women's tag titles just need TV time and storyline. Boza says the women's division is so strong that Evolution 2 could happen and the legends would add to the show and they wouldn't be just there to fill it out. Said the mayor is here. He says some might say those belts haven't been relevant since the boss. Oh Lord, here we go. Here we go.
The boss is no longer relevant here.
I say that's the least time they were relevant.
Oh gosh. Especially if nobody says, I don't think giving up on the titles is the answer. Is they have a deep women's roster and the titles could be used better. It's up to WWE to figure it out. So I'm going to make an interesting statement here. And that statement is this. I think that the women's tag team championships are running through some of the same issues AEW has. And you're probably going, what do you mean? It's the problem of being new. When you are new, especially now, see, the teams that you mentioned, like the Usos, the Dudleys, they came into the WWE already a tag team.
Yes.
And they were already performing elsewhere as a tag team. So right now, since you don't really have organized tag teams in the WWE, you have to put people together who are currently single stars. To see them as a tag team, it's going to take them time to gel. It's going to take us time to get used to watching them. So really, we're talking about committing to a project for a good 2 years. Because it's been said that it takes 9 months to a year to actually really create a superstar where the fans go, yeah, I believe in them. And so I think and the challenge with trying to build anything new in this environment is that everybody wants perfection and excellence from birth. It's like this generation of people, we expect babies to come out, solving quadratic equations and speaking English and writing books. And we forget that when babies come out, all they know how to do is cry. Right? So we forget that if you are building something, it takes time. We get to watch it become what it is, but it's going to take time for that to evolve. So that means, number one, WWE has to be able to commit to saying, we're going to take the next 3 to 5 years to build women's tag teams. And that it's going to take that. Think about it. The women's tag titles have only been around a handful of years. It has not been that long at all.
I don't think it's more than 6 years, right?
Barely. We didn't have the women's tag title. I think it was 2019 when we got the women's tag title.
I think so. It was right before the pandemic.
Right. So consider, it was Elimination Chamber 2019. Somebody fact check me if I'm wrong. That the women's tag titles happened. Well, consider this. It was January 2019 that AEW announced their inception as a company. So literally, they've been around the exact same amount of time. The challenge, of course, is, who are you willing to look at as a tag team? And so is it 2018?
They were announced December 24, 2018 on a Monday Night Raw episode.
And they were first crowned in February 2019, right? Okay. So we're looking at 5 years since the inception of these tag team titles. That's not a long time at all. You throw a pandemic in there, things have been altered. So I think the WWE needs time to create tag teams that we will believe in. It's going to be trial and error. Not every team is going to work. Some teams are going to actually stick in gel, but so I think as fans, we have to become more patient with watching something being built. It's literally the same argument for AEW. Who's leaking this stuff? Well, it's a brand new company. Some of these people clearly don't know you're not supposed to randomly leak things because they're in the age and environment of social media that says any news is good news. So I think we're going to have to watch with that kind of backdrop in mind, and perhaps start considering who could be great tag teams. And the real question becomes, does WWE have the time and patience to invest in this women's division? Think about this. The investment that they made in the PC proved to be incredible. The investment that they made roughly 2 years ago or so to say, we're not going to sign any more indie talent, we're just going to build NXT from our NIL crew. 2 years later, we're seeing massive benefits with some real stars on the horizon. So I think if WWE was able to take 2 solid years to commit to a women's tag team division, we might end up with 2 or 3 teams that come out and we go, yeah, those are real teams, and then build from there. So we'll see what happens with that, and if they had that kind of patience in this environment.
I would have to agree with your point, Professor, only because you think about the era we grew up watching, and you think about tag teams like the Rockers. Look at how long it took for them to actually split them up. The Rockers were around well in the 80s as well.
Yes,
and we were still pretty young watching them, but then seeing the growth and development and how they made them literally into single stars just when you thought they couldn't. It's the same thing with that, but just in reverse. It's how much is WWE willing to invest in the time and the energy it takes to build the tag team, which was why I was so shocked when they had the big 2 out of 3 drop those titles, because I thought that we were going in the direction of, oh, these girls are about to take over the whole tag team division on all ends, all fronts, and completely obliterate them and hold them for as long. They're going to be like the New Day and hold the record and things like that. But it went the total opposite, which means that they might not have been invested at the moment, but we shall see.
I will say 2 things. One, I think to your point, Professor, that would help. That's going to help a lot, including the fact that they have TNA now, and they have a pretty good list of solid tag teams that can
very strong tag team division.
Yeah, so if they can find that type of blueprint to start using it, but I can't even say that I'm just going to direct it at just them not knowing what to do with the women's tag titles, but I feel like just overall in the tag team division, WWE has massively fell off. Like even for Monday Night Raw, like you're barely showing any of your tag teams. Like you're now using SmackDown to kind of build a new tag team division. But even too, y'all are kind of getting us a little nervous because you didn't gave it to DIY and now they're finna face the Bloodline. And it's like, okay, they get it for 3 weeks and now I got to drop to the Bloodline. So it's like, I don't think they've really had the best grip on the tag team championships ever since they combined them. I think they've completely not known what to do since they had combined them, gave them to the Usos, and then splitting them up again. They haven't really given any type of creative when it comes to the tag team division in quite some time.
Yeah, there's actually been probably a lengthy history of not the best tag team situations in WWE, I'd say over the last 10 years. Which is one of the reasons why the Usos versus the New Day really stood out, you know. And then there were some other really cool tag teams that ultimately ended up happening. I think about the Bar. I even started to really dig RK Bro for a while. They were really doing some cool things. They've DIY and the like, and Street Profits were strong for a bit. So it's going to be interesting to see how they handle this tag team situation. We'll move on quickly because there's still a lot to get to before we get to these predictions. Of course, we saw Tuesday night Roxanne Perez retain her NXT Women's Championship, and Roxanne Perez has actually been very vocal, even on television, ripping the Band-Aid off when it comes to the elephants in the room being Julia and Stephanie Vacour's imminent arrival. And so she went on recently in speaking to Stephanie Chase, and here's what she said. She said, quote, "I'm very excited for them to come over here. I've seen a lot of amazing matches from both of them. I definitely think they're going to help elevate the division. The division's already so stacked. I feel like that I can honestly say we have the best women's division in the world. And so whoever comes, I'm ready. So yeah, I'm excited about this. And I guess the real question now will be, who is the first opponent, in your opinion, for both Julia and Stephanie Vicor? Councilman, we'll start with you.
Oh, you gonna throw that good question at me like that? Oh,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You throw it to me first.
You gotta be ready. You gotta be ready,
Who
Councilman.
are they first ones?
You're a Pereziac.
Yeah.
Oh, but you talking about like the two, like Julia and Stephanie when they come?
Yeah.
first?
Who's there? Who will their first opponents be?
Man, I would love to see Julia go up against Kalani Jordan. I would love to see that be their first match. It doesn't have to be for the title or anything like that, but I would love to see those two do some in-ring work. And for Stephanie, I would love to see Stephanie go up against Lola Vice. I would love that.
Stead is gonna show up any second now. I just know.
I mean, look,
you gonna pull a Joe Hendry, don't you? Better stop it now.
Oh man, I'm trying to say his name. I'm saying his name. But I think those would be two great, solid matches, though. I think they would give some great performances. Neither one of them first opponents should be Roxanne. They're not ready for that. They're not ready for that. Look, baby, hey, look, like y'all just said, investment, baby. They not ready to tackle that mountain of that's Roxanne Perez. They're not ready for that. They're not ready for these pop rocks to just go running wild.
My Lord. Well, honey, who do you think the first opponents for Stephanie Vicor and Julia should be?
Interestingly enough, I can't help but wonder how Julia versus Sol Ruka would look.
That could cook.
Yeah.
And for Stephanie Vicor, this might shock some people, but Wendy Chu.
That would be some good storytelling. That'd be some real good storytelling.
I think that has a lot of reason to have like a good first opponent storytelling in there. Just to get them familiar. I just don't know why, but Stephanie Vicor feel like her vibe just gives me like she needs to go against somebody who's pretty much like she has like that demon dark kind of vibe to her. So I feel like Wendy Chu would be a really cool look from across the ring from her, and to see who would really come out on top of that. But Julia and Sol Ruka would definitely for that one as well, because I think that would be stupid. Like that in the best way.
Crazy. The comments are firing off. Boza says Julia's first opponent should be Roxanne. Stephanie's should be Kalani, both for the titles. I mean, we don't work our way up to anything here, Boza, do we? Just put them in title matches to start.
Right.
Throw them to the wolves.
Jeff, this would be interesting. Stephanie Vicor and Sol Ruka. That would be interesting.
That would be
as well. Let's see. I'd like to see Stephanie versus Kalani. Stephanie has that lucha style, and that would match well with her. Okay. Jeffrey says Julia and Carmen Petrovich. That would be kind of cool. Yeah. The cool thing is the roster in NXT is so deep that you could pick a number of people and see some. Eric says Stephanie versus Jada Parker, Julia versus Lola. I just don't serve Jada up like that. Don't do that to her.
I would flip it.
I was just
it's gonna be a fight.
I was just thinking also, how would it look if they give Stephanie a faction with Tatum Paxley and Wendy Chu?
You was reading my mind when you said Wendy Chu. I thought tag team for what we was talking about, but now the faction that would really help.
I can't help but wonder,
because Tatum can talk for them.
Yeah.
Wendy can sit there silent. Stephanie can be the head person and stuff.
She's like the assassin.
Yeah, and Tatum do the talking.
I don't know.
With the dolls and stuff. Oh, that'd be a great get for them to do.
That could get really interesting. That could get interesting. Boza,
Don't you
know
wish
what?
that on us,
No,
Ricky
no,
Bobby?
no,
Don't you wish?
no,
Don't you
no.
put that
no.
on us?
I got something. I got something. Worry not. I got something. Worry not. Worry not. Worry not.
Boza got the womp today.
You got the womp today, Boza.
We love
You
Boza.
got the womp. Stephanie and JC Jane as a tag team because of their look. That could be interesting.
Ooh.
I could see Julia joining Damage Control. She could be the missing piece. I don't know that I want either of these two to actually hop into a faction just yet. I think people need to see what they can pull off and do. The danger of a faction sometimes is it can kind of water down your full presentation. For instance, we're not seeing the full magic. We have yet to see the full magic of Jacob Fatu. We've just seen bite-sized pieces, and that's because he's in a faction where he can't be the head right now. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. All right, we still haven't gotten to predictions, but it's been that kind of show. So as we're talking about PLEs, it's good to know that a recent announcement was made by Triple H yesterday, where he basically said that he had just gotten off the phone with the folks at Vancouver. It is official. Survivor Series War Games will take place in Vancouver, British Columbia, in Canada, at the Rogers Arena. The date is November the 30th. It did confirm, of course, that it is War Games, so we can be looking forward to that. Yet another international pay-per-view or PLE this year, which I find to be very interesting. So let's just think about this. This year, we saw Elimination Chamber was abroad. That was in Australia, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So Elimination Chamber was in Australia. We had Backlash in France. Then we had King and Queen of the Ring in Saudi Arabia. Then we had Clash at the Castle in Scotland. Then we had Money in the Bank in Toronto. That's 5.
Crazy.
Then we're going to, so we've got SummerSlam coming in Cleveland. We've got Bash in Berlin coming end of August. That's 6. Yeah. Then you've got now Survivor Series in Canada. 7 PLEs. This might be the first year that there have been more PLEs abroad or internationally than there have been domestically. This is very interesting, which says to me that if you are an American fan and you can get to a PLE, you should probably do that, because it feels like more and more PLEs are going to be happening abroad. And we haven't even had the discussion, at least not while I've been here, about WrestleMania in London. So yeah, just brace yourselves. This should be a lot of fun. Speaking of WrestleMania, WrestleMania 41 will be in Las Vegas. Oh, Boza, you're right. We didn't even count Crown Jewel in November.
Oh my God, yes, Crown Jewel. Oh, holy crap.
Right. So that's 2 in November. Crown Jewel at the start of November, and then Survivor Series. 8 PLEs. Good Lord.
So like really technically that's almost, besides our big ones, that's dang near the whole year.
Damn near.
That's near. And we just knew Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, and SummerSlam. So really it was only one big one that was going to be left.
Yeah, and that's
where was King of the Ring again? Saudi
Arabia.
Saudi Arabia. That's right. Oh my God, yes. Wow. Listen, WWE is getting that international coin. Okay,
they are, and part of the reason why is because those fans are so incredible. Again, it's simple. Life lesson. Go to where you are appreciated and not to where you're tolerated. And so if you go and you're doing these TV tapings and fans are lackluster, you go to, no worries, because we can take these PLEs anywhere in the world.
And they're going to come because it's something that reminds me of like what Paul Heyman said about a certain beast that, they don't really mention as much, but he had said that if you were to see him every week, the glamour and the glitz of him would go down. It would diminish.
Mhm.
And I think it's now that same thing with these PLEs. Like, we get so used to having so many. It's like, oh, I'll catch the next one. Oh, I'll catch the next time Raw or SmackDown is here. But for these other cats that's overseas, like a London or a Toronto, they don't get them too often. So when they come, they gonna show out. It's like, no, I'm getting my ticket and I'm going to get the full experience of a Money in the Bank or a Crown Jewel. And I think WWE has cracked that code into knowing, hey, this is how we keep our product hot all year around.
Absolutely.
They letting us know, get your passport game up.
Like, for real, because that might be what you have to do if you're gonna go.
If they go into London, we all got to go to London. We got to make WrestleMania London.
I'm for it. I'm for it.
Cheerio.
So what we do know is that the next WrestleMania is domestic, and that is Las Vegas, of course, Allegiant Stadium. And I was out that way over about a week or so ago. And interestingly enough, someone else who apparently lives in Vegas or in Nevada is one Stone Cold Steve Austin. And Stone Cold Steve Austin he was asked a simple question. He was asked, whether or not people would see him in WrestleMania. And he said he won't leave Nevada. It's hard to get him out of the state. So we probably won't see him in London. He said, but WrestleMania next year is in Vegas, and that's in Nevada. Think Stone Cold's going to pull up his pickup truck loaded with some beer and say what a few times in April?
If I see Stone Cold Stunner, the final boss at WrestleMania in Vegas, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it. I'm gonna pass out.
Yes, you did, sir.
Yes.
Too late, Mayor. But oh my God. Did you just predict the possible ending of next year's WrestleMania?
Yes, because we knew it was supposed to happen this previous one. And
listen, we were anticipating that glass shattering at 40, man. Everybody in the seats were saying it, from up top, down below. Everybody was expecting Austin. So it was a crazy swerve when you heard that gong instead.
Yep.
But I would love to see Stone Cold return only if he wants to, not because somebody's making him do it, not because he feels he's obligated to do it or anything like that. I want him to do it only if he wants to, because I know one thing that we know a lot about when it comes to the superstars, especially after they retire, except for Shawn Michaels, they usually don't let go of that itch. When Shawn Michaels said he wanted to retire, he wanted to retire. And of course, they had that match with the Brothers of Destruction, which didn't go over so well. But that's the reason why Shawn was like, this is why I want to stay retired. I'm too old for this shit. You know what I'm saying? And unlike Shawn, unlike Shawn, you got your Ric Flairs and you got, all the legends, and Undertaker is also on that cusp. He doesn't need to do it. I'm sure he did that because he wanted to, and it was something that was going to absolutely throw us over the wall and completely be something that we're going to be talking about forever. So as long as it's on some kind of level like that, I'll have Stone Cold, or even have him host it. He lives out there. Why not have him host it in Vegas? I think that would be awesome as well. But only if he wants to.
I think that's how,
because Stone Cold does what he wants when he wants.
Yeah. Even after watching the last time he came back to do the stuff with like Kevin Owens, like we didn't know we were getting a match. We just thought we were getting a hosting. But to even give us that and give him a win, because that last time we saw him in the ring, phenomenal match against The Rock, but of course he lost. And so it's like, for you to ride off in the sunset with a victory, you can tell they really worked the creative well when it came to him. And I don't think it's gonna be no different if he decides to come to Vegas for WrestleMania.
It's gonna be great. It is absolutely gonna be great. All right, so big news last night. Of course, there was a great party that Mark Henry served as a DJ on for SummerSlam weekend. I'm getting the name wrong. A Rumble remix or Remix Rumble or something like that. But in this, he is the DJ. His son, Jacob, comes to the mic and makes a startling announcement. The announcement is that he is officially signed with the WWE, which is a pretty major moment if you consider what that absolutely means. So he says he's officially signed. This again happened at the Remix Bowl. He's currently 18 years old. He is also committed to the wrestling team at the University of Oklahoma. So I don't know when he would officially start with the WWE, if he's going to finish college first, what to make of this. But what are your thoughts on Jacob Henry, the son of Mark Henry, being signed to the WWE, honey?
I think this is absolutely awesome. It's always great to see the youngins take after those that came before them, especially with such a great Hall of Famer and person and wrestler and Mark Henry and worker as well. I think he's following the right footsteps. I think this is going to suit him very, very well. I think he's going to do a great job. Still a little green and 18, but there's always room for growth and always room for progress, especially when they're that young. So I think that it's crazy because he literally a mirror image of Mark Henry. So we're good to see that we possibly could get a newer version of the Nation of Domination in the future would be absolutely freaking awesome.
Councilman, your thoughts on Jacob, not Fatu, but Jacob Henry joining the WWE?
Listen, this is how invested I'm in. The councilman is looking to add a new client to the roster.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Okay.
We're going to Henryville. We're going to Henryville.
We're going to Strongman Inc. is what we're going to.
Strongman Inc.
Strongman Inc. is in effect. We've spoken with Mark Henry. We have sent the presentation in. We are looking to represent our guy Joe Henry when he comes to NXT. Listen, us Texas boys are gonna stick together, and I can't wait to have Joe Henry at the big back barbecues and the big back events. It's gonna be so great.
I believe in Joe Henry.
Well, that's Joe Henry. This is Jacob Henry. We'll get it right. No worries.
We'll get it right.
Jacob, we'll get it right.
I didn't want to say Fatu.
I meant Jacob Henry.
Yes.
Jacob Henry. It's going to be amazing. I'm very interested to see what the timing of this is going to look like. If they're going to find a way for him to attend school and be in WWE simultaneously, if he's got to do one, then the other. I'm sure his dad will obviously work all of that out. But this is great news for Jacob Henry and a great continuation of the lineage of Mark Henry and the legacy of Mark Henry. And he recently spoke with TMZ, and in talking about the plans for his son, he also revealed what he's currently up to. And part of those plans includes his involvement in All Caribbean Wrestling, as Mark Henry has announced himself as the new booker as well as an ambassador for All Caribbean Wrestling, which is a major move, understanding again what Mark Henry has contributed to the business, his eye for talent, his mind for the business, and now All Caribbean Wrestling gets to benefit from that. Yes, I'm excited about that, being a part of the All Caribbean Wrestling team. And I'm not sure that I've actually said this on this wonderful publication, but I will. Just a very interesting moment happened in the Bahamas where I am sitting down to do commentary. I'm getting everything together, and who literally sits right next to me than Mark Henry. And
Crazy.
I'm going, okay, absolutely no pressure. And, my initial thought was, hey, you know what? I wish I had a third headset for you because you can join. He's like, no, I'm just good sitting right here. And he sat next to me the entire show.
Gotta love
that. Mark Henry, well invested in all things happening in All Caribbean Wrestling. All the more reason you guys are going to want to check out all that All Caribbean Wrestling is doing, including Baja Bash, which happened back in June. But the next thing on the calendar is Jam Slam, which will be happening at the end of August. in Jamaica, Kingston, Jamaica, to be specific. Here's more on all things All Caribbean
This
Wrestling.
episode of Women's Wrestling Talk has been brought to you by All Caribbean Wrestling. Catch the wave. Go to allcaribbeanwrestling.com to check out all the latest pay-per-views or go on the YouTube page at All Caribbean Wrestling. Also, go and check out their socials on Instagram at All Caribbean Wrestling and on X at All Caribbean WR1.
Hey, yo, you. Yeah, you that's watching this. You sitting on the couch staring at the screen not knowing what you want to do like this is an online college. Are you tired of wearing shirts that make you look like an extra stuck in catering? Do you want to step your wrestling swag game up to the next level? Then Women's Wrestling Talk has got you covered. Like literally. Are you for life in pink or black and white? Or maybe you're the EST and people need to respect you accordingly. Want to put some pride in your stride and show off the muscle in your hustle? Then make sure you check out the WWT store. Not now, but right now. Alright? What you waiting for? Head to www talkpodstore.com and don't make me fight you. Shit.
Yes. I'm sorry. Can I just do it for the sake of the title of the show today? I'm just gonna do it.
I got a lot left in the tank.
And there it is. A whole lot left in the tank. Mark Henry, a part of All Caribbean Wrestling. And again, you can check out all that's happening with All Caribbean Wrestling at their website, allcaribbeanwrestling.com, and make sure you're following them across all of the social spaces. All right, we're going to take these last few minutes to get into SummerSlam. It's going down this weekend. The SummerSlam kickoff took place a little bit earlier today. And of course, that's gearing up for SmackDown, which is happening tonight. And actually, you know what? It actually might make more sense to have a SmackDown conversation first and then talk about SummerSlam. So let's do that since SmackDown is happening in about an hour or so. It's going to be a full show happening again in Cleveland. So a few things are scheduled to happen tonight. We could kind of call this a tag team kind of night, as both sets of tag team titles are on the line tonight. On the women's side, we've got Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill challenging Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. On the men's side, the Bloodline, that being Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga, are taking on DIY. Let's first talk about the women's tag team title match. Who do you think is coming out on top? Honey, we'll start with you.
Well, I'm not going to go back on my honey pot predictions. Make sure you guys go check out the socials and check out the predictions before SmackDown starts. But I am going with the big 2 out of 3 getting those titles back. I kind of wasn't ready for them to lose those titles either. So I kind of want them to have it back. I was contemplating and debating with myself, are they going to give them the Mega Powers joining again? Or are they going to do the Mega Power split? What they going to do? But I personally think that they should and could win those titles back. So I'm going with the big 2 out of 3.
Councilman, what are your thoughts on this? Do we get new women's tag team champions tonight?
I think it may happen. As much as I don't want to see the Unholy Union lose, the pop it would get for them to get their tag team titles back, especially since they technically weren't pinned, I see it going in the ways of the Mega Powers. Otherwise, even if not, the Unholy Union got to throw the whole playbook at them if they're gonna take them on. But yeah, I'm going with Honey as well. The Mega Powers are gonna reclaim their titles.
You know, I'm not sure what it will take for Bianca and Jade to not win tonight.
Right.
I know that Isla and Alba are a great tag team. I've been fans of them since they connected in NXT. There could be a way, I don't know what the way is, that they come out as champs, but personally, I want to see Bianca and Jade win. I just like them as a tag team. I like them as tag team champions. Of course, Boza thinks that the Unholy Union survive. They might survive. I don't know that they're leaving with tag team titles, but they'll survive.
If they do, I'll be shocked because Look at them, like these, and honestly, it's like one of those good meals. Like Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair's title run was like a really good meal that I did not want finished yet. Like I want seconds and thirds of it. I need more. Like I really would love for them to get those titles back.
And I think that go back to something Professor said earlier. If you really want to increase this division, you need those kind of final boss levels. And I think those two are, and I think that would make the rest of these tag teams or the ones you're gonna jail of like, okay, we have to get to this level in order for us to beat and finally take this off of these two mega powers.
Exactly. And then imagine seeing them if they go to NXT or even TNA. Like, you're not messing with that. You're not messing with that. Then you give them the long running reign that we wanted from the get-go.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I think that's what's best for business.
Yeah.
I would agree with you, and Eric agrees with us. So the second tag team title match, of course, is on the men's side. DIY taking on the Bloodline. Do we get potentially another set of tag team title changes happening here tonight? The looks on your faces are amazing. Yeah, so let's talk about it. Councilman.
Just
man,
say it.
Please. Man.
Just say it.
Man, Temu Bloodline gonna be the champs, man.
Temu Bloodline.
I don't, man. I want DIY to retain them titles so bad, but just the story that the only way it happens is if Randy Orton comes back. That's the only way I see it. If Randy Orton and KO come and mess it up. But I really would rather see DIY take it because I do not want to miss out on the potential bangers they are going to give us, like DIY versus Pretty Deadly, DIY versus the Street Profits, DIY versus the OC. All of these matches for the title would be so great, but this Temu Bloodline is just becoming a virus at SmackDown, and I know they want to try to get some gold in that faction to keep it going. So, Temu Bloodline.
All right, the Bloodline. Honey.
The Temu Bloodline. This is not the Bloodline.
Not our Bloodline.
This right here, this is the Bloodline. This was the Bloodline right here. But contrary to what our viewers and listeners might have heard and seen me say on previous shows before, I'm really sad about this, and I stressed this on my Honey Pop predictions that I did not want to say this out loud, but I'm really sad for DIY. I'm really sad that they got the placeholder run. I'm really upset about that. I would have thought that would have happened for Miz and R-Truth faster than I would have thought for DIY, being that they've been such a reputable tag team from jump, from NXT, coming from the ground up and going through so much together in NXT to then put them back together on the main roster. And when you got Jacob Fatu in the mix, I'm not going to sit here and say this guy won't look great with some tag team gold on him next to Tama Tonga. That's history making stuff right there. And like, I can't believe I'm about to give our mayor some credit, but like our mayor has previously said, there is money in the chase, and DIY has always been very good at that chase as well. I think they could also have potential to be the ones that confront Nathan Frazier and Axiom should they keep their titles in NXT for the tag team titles, which would be pretty monumental. But unfortunately, I am going with the Temu Bloodline getting the titles as well. And to Boza's point, I know, Boza, I know, and we've discussed a lot on our watch-alongs, but the hashtag not my champion is going to do exactly what you say here. And he will be a big pain in the butt. And you won't hear the end of it when these guys win. Because then we're on our way to looking at a different kind of Temu bloodline, as opposed to, this would be bloodline with gold. And that's a whole different ball game. So Temu bloodline it is.
I have a lengthy explanation I would like to give, but I'm going to save it for later and simply say Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga are leaving with gold. And there's a reason for it. And it makes Boza mad. And it's not about making Boza mad. There's a bigger play in here. And I'll tell you my bigger play concept when we get to SummerSlam.
Yeah.
With that said, the other things that are slated to happen tonight are an interview or a confrontation potentially between Cody Rhodes and Solo Sikoa. Also, Logan Paul is supposed to receive a Cleveland homecoming. And given the last 24 hours for Logan Paul, I don't know what that's going to look like. But that's all going down tonight on Fox. And get ready, because in case you have not heard, we are nearing the last few episodes of SmackDown on Fox. SmackDown will move to USA mid-September. I believe September 17th is the date. I believe. I'll have to double check that. But yeah, it's coming sooner than later. Now then, SummerSlam takes place tomorrow night. A number of matches will be taking place. One of the main events, of course, is for the undisputed WWE Championship. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. Cody Rhodes, Solo Sikoa. Who's walking out as WWE Champion tomorrow night? Honey.
Before we get into it, you are correct. September 13th.
September 13th. There it is. Yeah. Okay.
Cody's retaining. Not my tribal chief. Not my champion. It's not happening. I don't know how it's going to happen, but Cody's retaining. Like I said, and I've been saying every week, there's no way you crybabies have put me through this mess just to make Solo Sikoa the new champion. No. Thank you very much.
Councilman.
I'll start watching AEW if Solo win. I will watch Collision and all Dynamite, and from now on, if Solo beats Cody to the same point as Honey say, if you brought us through all that for us to lose to Rikishi Jr., I'm gonna be tight. And I'm just saying that because he ain't got there yet. Like to Cody's point, you are not ready. And I very much believe that no disrespect to him, but it's like, yo, you still got a long way before it's you that takes this away after such a built story that they gave us.
And since we're here on this match first, I know there's been a lot of people in my group chats and online and everything speculating that the tribal chief will return. The tribal chief is not coming this weekend. He's not coming this weekend. I don't believe he's coming this weekend. Like I said, I believe we'll see the final boss before we even see the tribal chief. But if I had to guess how Cody could possibly win this, it's the only way how is the man who doesn't even have a match this weekend at SummerSlam. And that is the Yeet Master, former tag team partner of Cody Rhodes. He can stop Solo from winning if Jimmy don't return either.
And we still got Randy in the win and the Kevin Owens. And we know Kevin Owens don't have a match. So Kevin Owens is always down to come scrap with the bloodline whenever he get a chance to. So
man,
so let's see what the people are saying. Boza says that Cody retains and that they're asking for trouble if not my champion is the WWE champion. Eric says Cody retains. Cousin Ron says Cody retains. Boza says Collision is at 5 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. They don't want to compete with SummerSlam. It is indeed at 5 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, so you guys can check that out. I'm not sure if it's because of that, but it is definitely at 5 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So I'm just going to say this. Councilman, you might want to know that Collision is airing tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern. Dynamite airs on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. Rampage generally airs on TNT, I believe, at 10 p.m. Eastern on Friday nights. And if you feel like getting the full dose of the AEW universe, there's Ring of Honor on the Honor Club. I'm gonna tell you guys right now. There's a strong case for Solo Sikoa becoming the new WWE champion. Strong case. Now, y'all might not like this, but let me just add some meat to this bone here. It does not you cannot prove that you are the real bloodline unless you do what the bloodline did. This whole weekend is about establishing who the bloodline is. It's why the bloodline will win the tag team titles tonight. And it's why Solo Sikoa will win the WWE championship tomorrow. Because if he doesn't, how can he say he's really the tribal chief? You have to do what the tribal chief did. Tribal chief won the WWE championship. And there's more money to be made if Cody Rhodes chases the title. Cody Rhodes is going to be the most popular guy in WWE regardless. He's still going to represent the company well without being a champion. But Solo Sikoa and then Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu win the tag titles. The bloodline must be dripped in gold. That is exactly what the previous iteration of the bloodline did. They held all the championships. There has to be the image of them standing in the ring, draped in gold, throwing their ones up. It's going to happen. And it needs to happen for a significant amount of time before Roman Reigns returns. If Roman Reigns returns and Solo Sikoa is not the WWE champion, why is Roman back? It's not enough for him to merely just reclaim being the tribal chief. Solo has to completely wipe the memory of the previous bloodline away. The only way it happens is for them to become champions. And when they become champions, everybody can then stop saying, he's not ready. He's not ready. No. He's ready. Just brace yourselves now.
Professor, you making my heart hurt because why does that make so much sense, especially with Bad Blood coming right after?
Bad Blood is on the way
because Professor is the mature parent of the group, and he knows he's the wise man. He's our wise man.
I've been learning about Professor, and this what people ain't catching what we ain't been talking about. This man is doing a heel turn, and ain't nobody calling this out. Professor is turning heel on us. He done joined the tag team with the mayor. He's not going with the TV bloodline. I'm like, Professor, I don't think I don't see what you're doing. I don't think I don't. When he comes in with braided dreads next time on this one, I'm like, yo.
Braided dreads, I'm done.
Professor right there. That's what we gonna start calling him.
That is funny.
It's the upside down Professor.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of Stranger Things.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh.
But can I ask you, does it happen here or does it happen at Bad Blood, since Bad Blood is in Atlanta?
Does what happen there?
Solo taking the championship. Because the more you're saying it, it's like this seems like that is what it's gonna be. But does it happen here or does it happen at Bad Blood?
I feel like this is the bigger stage. Granted, what makes sense is for Cody to attempt to have a rematch in Atlanta as opposed to Cody defending the title in Atlanta.
Gotcha.
Because you'll have that Atlanta crowd going crazy with Cody attempting to win the championship back in Atlanta, in his hometown.
Or going against the final boss for screwing him out of keeping his title. Remember the last thing the final boss, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, said in the ring was that, and I'm not saying I want this. I don't want this any more than you do, Councilman. But what I am saying is, remember what The Rock said before he left. He said, I don't know whether you'll be champion or not by the time The Rock comes back. And he just wrapped up his movies conveniently around the same time that this is all happening.
Mm-hmm.
But The Rock will be back for Cody regardless if he has that belt or not, he said.
Or not.
Y'all giving me heartburn.
And this would also then prove, I'm sorry, but this would also then prove why we've been saying and thinking the whole time that this ain't Solo's bloodline. This is The Rock's bloodline.
Boza says, how long of a reign does Solo get? We have to remember Solo has only won like 4 matches in WWE. He's like 4-42. Can I take you back to 2016, 2017, 2017? I've got my years up. 2016, one of those years, somebody will get me right. Because I don't remember a certain Jinder Mahal having the biggest winning record of all time before he got his shot against Randy Orton and won. There have been a number of unlikely WWE champions over time. You don't have to have the greatest. 2017. There it is.
Yeah.
You don't have to
170
have
days.
170 days. Mm-hmm.
It all makes sense. As much as I hate to say it,
I don't want this to happen. Then why did y'all put me through this in February and March?
No, but if you think about it, that's the best revenge you can get because you took away what was supposed to happen. I'm gonna let you have your moment. I'm gonna let y'all finish the story. Now I'm
gonna let you finish. But The Rock versus Roman would have been the greatest main event of all time.
Exactly.
Going full Kanye on y'all.
So to screw the Cody crybabies with only a 4-month reign and to lose to someone who's 4-42. Professor it literally writes itself.
I'll also say this. You don't want the fans to get Cody fatigue. So that's why he doesn't need a long title reign. He doesn't need a year-long title reign. He doesn't. I mean, he doesn't. You're going to get Cody fatigue, and they're going to turn on Cody. They've already started talking about it. So,
and the same thing we just saw with Trick Williams. We were not expecting Trick Williams to lose the title that fast.
And I told you, Ethan Page. All right. The other one of the other big matches, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins as the special guest referee. This ought to be a crazy one. Who are you picking, honey?
Damn. I feel like CM Punk has got the one up on Drew McIntyre for a while now. That Drew deserves his lick back and deserves the win at least. I feel like this is going to open the floodgates of CM Punk versus Seth Rollins in the future when that happens, because Seth is going to do some shenanigans. I sense a very Shawn Michaels-ish type refereeing going on where he's going to hit somebody accidentally. It was very reminiscent, I think, of when Shawn ref The Undertaker, was it versus Bret
Hart? Yes.
For those of y'all, if you know, you know. If you know, you know. It's gonna give very much that, and Seth Rollins is gonna overstep his authority, because he's the I would say he's like the annoyance of the group. Like, he gets on both of their nerves, so he's gonna overstep his authority, I think, and he's gonna flash off his referee badge, and CM Punk is going to get fed up with it, because at this point, CM Punk is finally going to put the pause on Seth Rollins, and that could cost it for CM Punk. But Drew McIntyre will still have his revenge and come out with the win. And plus, my mother, I'm going to say this, shout outs to my mother-in-law, because she is a lover of Drew McIntyre, and I'm rooting for Drew McIntyre for her.
I love it. Councilman.
The winner in this match is going to be Metro Health Medical Center. Rehabilitate CM Punk ass after this
CM
match.
Punk. Oh my God.
Lord.
Yeah, if he doesn't lose, or if he can even complete the match with his old body that he keeps bringing up in there, Drew McIntyre's finna put so many claymores to this man's face. I definitely see them both accidentally hitting Seth a couple of times. I know Seth is definitely gonna catch a claymore To Honey's point, I think CM Punk is gonna finally like strike Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is gonna curb stomp probably both of these men.
Both of them. He's gonna lift their hand up and still curb stomp them.
Yeah, I think we do see Seth Rollins maybe being the one that will be left standing in this match. But the ones that are fighting in it, I see Drew going all the way, and then this leading to another match at Bad Blood.
Okay. Side note, interesting piece of news. I don't know what we do with this, but this is just interesting to throw in here. There's a report out that says Matt and Jeff Hardy have met with WWE officials earlier today in Cleveland. No word on what was discussed, but it's being said that there's some content that was filmed to be rolled out via WWE Digital, whatever that might mean. All right. Another match, and we're going to try to roll through these because we got to give Honey a chance to breathe before her SmackDown moment. We've got the Women's Championship on the line. Bayley versus the Queen, Nia Jax. Honey, who are you picking?
Oh, I love you, Bayley. I love you. But I feel like this could be Queen Nia Jax's moment. We've been waiting for this. Those of y'all from Jacksonville, Nia Jacksonville, was been definitely advocating for the Queen since she was in the running to become Queen, and I think she should take it. I think she should. Queen Nia wins.
Councilman?
I know she's the second best horsewoman, but it's Nia Jax's time. One of these got King and Queen of the Rings got to win the benefit of that, and it's gonna be Nia. We are crowning a new WWE Women's Champion tonight.
Well, there it is. I'm actually agreeing. I think Nia can walk out of here as champion.
She's had a hell of a year.
She has. U.S. Championship, LA Knight, Logan Paul. Honey.
Y'all really gonna ask me this one? Y'all not gonna ask me this one. Y'all know my listen. Yeah. Bye-bye. Get him out of here. I like New York said in Flavor Love. Get her out of here. Get her out of here. Bye, Pumpkin. Bye, Pumpkin. Funny. It was fun. But no.
That's
the hometown
hilarious.
hero ain't winning.
Councilman.
At the end of the night, we're gonna have LA. We're gonna have Cleveland with everybody saying LA Knight. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if he wins, I'm going to AEW. If Logan wins, I'm going to watch AEW. I will no longer. I'm not watching SmackDown no more.
I think LA Knight was going to win anyway. I think after what happened yesterday, I think WWE may realize it's not good that man who's going off like that is their U.S. champion. Mm-hmm. And I heard reports about perhaps a very interesting response he had to them kind of calling him on this, but I can't confirm it. What I do know is this is the moment that we've been waiting for LA Knight. I thought it might have happened at a WrestleMania, but LA Knight, a stadium full of people all saying yeah as he's crowned U.S. champion. Yeah, LA Knight for the win. All right, Sami Zayn, Braun Breaker, the Intercontinental Championship. Honey, what say you?
This is tough. I think this is one of the few that might be tough. Because you have such fresh talent in Braun Breaker, and he's been making such an impact since he's come to the roster. But then you also got Sami, who's a great defending champion. At least he defends his title, unlike most people. Damn it. This is really tough. And I feel Braun Breaker's hungry. Braun Breaker's got that hunger. And I feel like this could be his time. I feel like we're going to see a bunch of title changes tonight. I want to say Sami. It breaks my heart to go against him, but I'm going to have to, no pun intended. I'm going with Braun Breaker.
All right. Councilman.
Mick Foley Jr. going out in the stretcher tonight.
Oh my God.
You're out of there.
Wow.
He's out of there, y'all.
Yeah.
Braun Breaker holding that Intercontinental title up. It's giving us a new light on the Intercontinental Championship, and it's just going to be one of those things where you are finna bring that division, keep that division where it's at. And to y'all point, what we've been talking about this whole time, I think it'll be good to see Sami Zayn on the chase of the Intercontinental Championship. I think we'll get to see a new side of Sami after this.
This match is also considerably interesting, especially with the fact that both of these men have beaten Gunther.
Correct.
Yeah.
There's a lot happening on this Twitter machine right now. I just need y'all to know. For instance, this just dropped. Apparently, well, no. I got a point I can save that for. I'm coming back to that story in a second.
Okay.
This is going to be tough. I don't know that I see Braun Breaker losing 2 PLEs in a row.
Yeah,
I think
that's
that
crazy.
could really damage him. So
especially
I think
no, my bad.
Yeah, I think Braun Breaker becomes the Intercontinental Champion tomorrow night.
Yeah, especially after you said I didn't take him as seriously the first time I did it. Now my eyes are focused on you. You got my full attention now. That's a lot to say, to think that he'll lose twice.
Mm-hmm.
Am I here? Am I here? Okay.
Yeah, you're here.
Yeah,
okay.
you're here.
I'm just.
Oh, okay.
It got crazy on me. I was like, wait, what just happened? But yeah. So.
Oh no!
Get it.
Said it.
He calling it. He calling it. It's coming true.
He definitely called it.
Which means all his predictions may be true too. Take it.
Oh man, got the fortune teller and the professor right here, man.
All right, am I
There
here?
Now you're here.
Okay.
You're here. You're back. We got you back.
All right.
That was funny, Councilman.
So from there, oh Lord, Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, the Women's World Championship.
I'm not gonna lie. These matches, I mean, they may not. CM Punk had made a claim earlier this week that this card might be better than WrestleMania. I'm not gonna say it's better than, but it's damn near close.
Yeah,
damn near close. I will say that. As far as this match goes, oh my God, mommy, I love you, but I don't think you're getting that title back, girl. I don't think so. This is a different kind of Liv Morgan we're dealing with, and I think she is 10 steps ahead now. She's got a lot more intelligent, and I think that Liv's got muscle. I think that Liv's got a new muscle. I feel like she has somebody that's gonna come help her bring Rhea down. And the only logical person I could think of, because she hasn't been heard of for a while, I'm not sure how long she was supposed to be out or anything like that, but it's one of the women that have actually beaten Rhea Ripley, and I might have to say that Raquel might be returning somewhere.
Is she cleared though?
Be Liv Morgan's muscle. I'm not sure what that. I'm just saying, I'm not sure what her status is.
I know she's been having a lot of health issues, like not even just like injury wise, like
yeah. No, I know that's for sure. But I would think that if there is a muscle that Liv Morgan has, it would have to be somebody who's had one up on Rhea Ripley before. And I can't think of anybody better than Raquel, considering their history as well, with both of these women being partners with them as well too. But Liv Morgan's retaining nonetheless.
Councilman.
Yeah. We're still gonna be getting a revenge tour. I still stick with what we say. It's the chase. I think seeing Rhea Ripley chase the title is gonna be way more interesting than her just retaining it. I think she did a wonderful job holding it for over 300 days. But like, this is to Honey's point, this is a different Liv, and power look good on Liv right now.
And this is Rhea Ripley as a face chasing the title.
Yeah.
Different story.
Yeah. And I'm rooting also for Liv, because I want to see as I call them, the fun size ladies. I want to see them thrive, because my ultimate goal is, if she can do it, Selena can do it. She can do it, then you better gotta let Selena get on this board.
You better say that again.
I be promote for Roxanne, because I'm like, yo, Roxanne is fun. So I'm like, yo, but they showing y'all that you do not have to be the status quo that Vince used to give everybody. So I really want to see Liv thrive in this match. I don't want to see it be she getting manhandled and stuff like that. I want to see Liv really work in this match so they know why she's women's world champion and why she's gonna remain that at least for however long they're gonna keep her. But I see Liv taking it tonight. I mean Saturday.
Yeah, I think Liv's gonna win it, and her muscle is a guy named Dom.
There's that. There is
now
that.
Then, to the world title match. Damian Priest against the winner of the King of the Ring tournament, Gunther. Honey.
Far be it from me to root against a New Yorker from the Bronx, my New York Ricans. I'm sorry. I'm not going against Damian Priest, El Campeon, Papi Champion. I think you need this win a lot more than Gunther does, and you need to find a way to win. I predict Damian Priest to retain.
Okay. Councilman.
I'm going with the same thing. Damian Priest. I think if Gunther would have been ever to have taken an L from somebody, I would have rather seen him before Mick Foley Jr. do it, but that tends to be what had happened. But this all it all has such a great stack. This would be I want to see him win clean. Like I want people to see like, yo, no outside interference, no anything. Like this is someone. If you were have Gunther take a L, Damian Priest is the one to deliver that to him flat, clean, and then continue to let Gunther have that chase for the title. And I think that's just the biggest theme for SummerSlam tonight. We're going to see a lot of these cats indulge in the chase of getting to these championships, that when Gunther finally does get it, it makes that win even bigger. And he hasn't had a chance to decline yet. You know, like Intercontinental King of the Ring, like we got to see, like you can't, we don't need to see another Brock Lesnar right now. We don't need another Brock Lesnar at this time, but we need to see that somebody can get him.
I also feel like there could be definitely some shenanigans during this match. And I can't help but have my senses tingle around the idea of Finn Balor offering his help, to where Damian Priest said, "What the hell did I tell you? I don't need the Judgment Day." And there's some kind of misunderstanding and misconstruity there that allows Gunther to possibly capitalize and cause a distraction between the two, or Finn accidentally hits Damian Priest or something like that. But it also protects Gunther from getting a pin. So I definitely sense some shenanigans, or maybe Finn could have something to do with Mommy and Liv. That too. There's always that.
I'm pushing it. That's the one I'm pushing.
Either way, the ascension is real. Gunther, the new world heavyweight champion.
Child, you stirring up. I wasn't expecting that. Woo!
Yeah. Let's see. Liv winning the championship. Damian Priest retains. I like Matt. Walter wins. I like that. This is Boza saying, "Child, Professor's starting." That's just so funny to me.
Hollywood Boner is just out here right now, bro.
Oh my gosh.
It really is a heel turn.
It's a straight heel turn.
It's what I see. I mean, I really see. Now, I will say this. If Damian Priest is to win this match, he needs to win it clean. And a clean win over Gunther would silence every other win that he's had that's had controversy connected to it.
That is very true.
Every win he's had has always had somebody interfere or some sort of shenanigans. He needs this moment to be champion. But let me just be clear. Gunther has dominated everywhere he's gone. NXT UK. He should have been the NXT champion, but that was during the NXT 2.0 era, and no one would have ever taken the title from him. He restored the luster to the Intercontinental Championship. I personally wish that he would have held it one more day, so it would have been 667 days instead of 666 days, but whatever. Here we are.
I thought he'd still be IC champion by now.
Well, then there's that. Yeah. Gunther is about to add something special to this World Heavyweight Championship, and it's going to be great. So, SummerSlam, Kicks off again tomorrow night. By the way, if you guys don't check out like the pre-show, you should, because it has got ESPN vibes all over it. They have really stepped up the pre-show with exclusive interview segments. It's really, really classy how it's done. So check that out. Of course, it all kicks off with SmackDown tonight in just a few minutes. We're Wrestling with Honey. Well, yes.
Can you throw real quick, because you said you had two theories from the tag team and then the Twitter thing. Could you throw those two? Do you have time to throw out those two real quick?
Yes. So theory. I said something about a theory.
Jacob Fatu and the tag team titles and why.
Oh no, I actually laid that theory out during my conversation in terms of why Solo Sikoa is going to be the world champion.
Okay.
It is just that this is the establishment of the bloodline being what it is. And Boza, the reason for the 3 hours is they've got great interviews that they've conducted. Like, it's done very, very well. It's giving me, NFL kind of pre-show, which is, really, really brilliant.
Oh no, it happened again. Wait, maybe come on now. We need that magic. Come on, man.
Let's see. All right,
there
I think we're back. All right, I
there
think we're back. Here's the story. The story is that apparently there's a match that's scheduled to happen sometime in 2025 featuring John Cena and Gunther. It's supposed to take place somewhere during the Cena retirement tour in 2025. That's the news I just got. I don't know when it's going to happen, but my Lord.
They're not going to make Gunther retire John Cena, are they?
No, but what they might do is have John Cena win his 17th world championship from Gunther.
Oh!
Yeah. You're seeing, yeah.
I see the vision. I see what you're doing.
Yeah, follow me. Follow me. All right, we're going to wrap this up so Honey at least can drink some water before she goes into another 2-hour shift here. Here's how you can reach out to us on these good socials. Councilman is stuck right now. Councilman, how can the people find you?
You can find me at I'm Stuck Right Now, email.com, because I'm not mad at either one of those scenarios, whether the retirement or 17th. Man, that's going to be a match. Sweet Christmas. But yeah, just y'all know where to find me. I'm going to leave it short like that so we get Honey some time.
Honey, well, I don't know if you want to sign off at this point, but for those who are listening to the audio version where the watch along won't connect, how can they find you?
Well, you guys can find me on all things Wrestling with Honey, Wrestling with Honey TikTok, Wrestling with Honey Instagram, Facebook, Wrestling W Honey, and like and subscribe to YouTube. That's going to be on and popping very, very soon. The Wrestling with Honey podcast got a new logo out. Got my Honey Pop predictions on the socials. Just make sure you guys check it out. The Honey Bee is cooking. I got some things cooking in the hive. I can't wait to show everybody. But yes, make sure you guys tune in, because in the next 15 minutes we are going to be live for our with Women's Wrestling Talk again for our Honey Night SmackDown watch along, and it's gonna be, I'm scared, y'all. I'm scared.
By the way, the trailer for the podcast looks amazing. So shout out.
Thank you.
It's good work.
Shout outs to my at-home producer Matt Spano.
Nice.
I have to give him all the credit for that.
That's awesome. It looks great. It looks absolutely great.
You. Thank you
guys
much.
can find me at Bonnerfied across all of the socials. Yeah, you guys might want to follow. Just did a video about tag teams. Just trying to find out where you sit with tag teams, if you like them, who you like. So you can check that out on the socials. Lots of cool things going on. Commentary work with IWE and Southern Honor Wrestling. That's on IWTV. And you can check out actually some matches from IWE on their YouTube page. IWE Pro is where you can find that. Speaking of YouTube, you can check out my work with, let's see, the Nightmare Factory, Turnbuckle Championship Wrestling. That's all on their YouTube pages, along with All Caribbean Wrestling. And of course, you've heard all of the great things that are going on with All Caribbean. Also, you can check out my work with AcheWrestling.com. I felt like there was something else for me, but I don't know. Oh, well, we'll figure it out. Of course, all things WWT at WWTalkPod across all the socials. Make sure you're following it. Get fun clips from this show that show up there. Always fun times for sure. WWTalkPod.com is the website. Of course, you can find our store, purchase all of the things. Hang around. Get yourself something to drink, a nice bit of dinner or lunch, wherever you are, so you can join us for the watch along, which is going to happen in just a few minutes. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Matt, cousin Ron, happy birthday again to you. Love you, man. Boza, Eric, special little nobodies, Jeffrey. Oh man, so many people are in here today, and it's great. This has been fantastic conversation. This is what we love to do. I hope you guys have an absolutely amazing SummerSlam weekend. And you know that means Monday's going to be crazy based on whatever happens. Until then.
Do we dare do a watch along for Monday? Maybe. Do we? Do I dare? Ooh. Especially with the Wyatt 6 debut.
Yeah, their first match. Their first match.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk.
We'll talk. We will talk.
Oh man. It's gonna be fun this weekend. I'm scared. I'm so scared. It's gonna be good. Who knows what Monday gonna look like, y'all?
Yeah, who knows? But we'll be here to talk about it for sure, because this is part of Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet. Y'all be good.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at WWTalkPod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms, like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at wwtalkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling